I got a letter from a friend back home a while back. It had hearts drawn around the edges, and on the back it said 3,100 miles later. I thought about how remarkable it was that this little letter could make it all the way across the country and into my dorm room. It doesn't contain the secrets of the government or the solution to world hunger. In fact, it talks about purple shampoo and The Bachelor. But it made it to me 3,100 miles later. I reached out to her after winter break, asking if we could FaceTime to catch up. She said she had a better idea. At the time, it didn't seem like it could possibly be a better idea. It is a week and a half before our letters get to each other, meaning 3 weeks between receiving letters. Why disregard the technology that would allow us to update each other as our lives unfold in the moment? But there's something about the letters. It is like we feel more vulnerable on the paper. We can write the things we wouldn't say over FaceTime. At the same time, there is something to knowing that every word was meant just for you.
I'd love for you to go blonde again.
It's why keeping up on friends' lives through Instagram posts doesn't feel personal. This isn't her carefully curated press release about the current state of her life. This is what she wanted to tell just me. And that's pretty great.
Nutritional anthropology sounds like a special kind of hell.
I wrote my letter to her immediately after, sitting on my dorm room floor with paper I tore from a notebook I don't use. Writing everything that is happening. All the joys and pains of young adulthood. The moments I laughed until I cried, and the moments I just cried. There's a lot of tears in young adulthood. I borrowed a stamp and an envelope from my roommate without letting her know that she herself made it into the letter. As I walked 25 minutes to the post office, I was met with my least favorite thing about writing letters. In the time between sealing the envelope and mailing it, you think about all the things you forgot to include. The woman in the coffee shop that reminded me of her. The job interview I had over spring break. The 45-minute presentation I have coming up on an Irish filmmaker. But that's okay, because there's always the next letter. Her second letter came in the midst of a terrible week. Anytime I got an email from the mailroom, I would rush to the service window, hoping that on the other side of the always disgruntled mailroom employee would be a letter from my long-distance friend. Something there would be no pressure for an immediate response to. Something that would feel like social interaction in the lack of all other people. Most of the times it wasn't. Granola bars or books from my parents. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But then it was. Upon receiving my second letter, I sat on the bench mere feet outside and tore open the envelope, disappearing for minutes into a world I am so far from. It was just as perfect the second time. And so I went up to my dorm room, grabbed paper and a pen, and wrote a letter that would travel 3,000 miles.